Have you ever been interested in creating your very own Hunger Games on your very own server? On this edition of Minecraft Me, we show you what you need to do to implement the survival games on your box.
This is Minecraft Me, a show that is about Minecraft, where we bring you some of the most awesome tutorials on the internet, reviews of mods and pack picks that you can use when you play. We take you on awesome adventures, all with Chase and Joe.
Minecraft Me is brought to you by the app for the Roku for GeekGamerTV. That's right, you can watch Minecraft Me, Geek Gamer Weekly, live shows, and much more by grabbing the Roku app. Over 10,000 people have. Head over to ggtv.me/Roku to grab it today. Hi, everybody. Welcome again to another edition of Minecraft Me, the show that is entirely about the game from Mojang called Minecraft. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner or an expert. All that matters is that you enjoy this awesome building blocks game. Hopefully you're having a great day. If you're watching this live, it is Friday. But if you're not watching us live, and that's okay, I want to say thank you for downloading the show. We really do appreciate it. My name is Chase Nunes. I am the level 8 lava lover. Durr. I love lava. I love bathing in it. I love falling into it off of a high track and losing all of my goods and everything that I've collected from the nether. I love that. And joining me, as always, is my good friend, guide, teacher, mentor, and our server administrator for the Minecraft Me public server. Here he is, folks, Mr. Joseph Falby. Hey, Joe, how are you, sir?
Good, doing good.
You ready for the? Now this is Friday, or actually Saturday 1 for you.
Yeah, this is Saturday 1.
Saturday 2 is tomorrow.
That is tomorrow. Yep.
Is this your quiet weekend? I know that you've been very busy for the month of December. So is it?
Yeah, actually, I think this is the first weekend that I'm going to be home.
Wow.
All weekend. The only thing I did was earlier today we went to the DMV and registered a car
on a Friday. Oh boy.
Well, no, it's snowed down here.
Wow, really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, not very much, but it snowed a little bit, and it's really, really cold. Like,
it's cold here, too.
27, 25, something like that. Anyway, it's cold. So it's not frozen or anything like that, but very few people are willing to venture out because it is Portland.
Yeah.
And when it snows in Portland, everyone panics.
Well, everyone's seen the videos of when Portland turned into a big ice rink. And
yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it frequently does that. My favorite is it snowing in pdx.com, I think is the website.
You know,
no, it's not. I can't. Anyway, there's a great website where it says it's is it snowing in PDX? And if you go to it and it isn't snowing, it just says no. If it is snowing, it says yes and says panic. So
you know, that's just as good as the site does ChaseHaveAJobYet.com. I don't know if you've been there. But it gives you
not recently. I haven't. Let me see. Does Chase?
Everybody's typing that it does. ChaseHaveAJobYet.com.
Oh, is it .ajobyet.com?
Jobyet.com.
Does.
Yeah, it's like the full question.
Yeah. Chase job yet. Hey, it was in my recently visited sites. No. It says no.
No.
It's telling me no.
Nope, that is correct.
Hey, I can subscribe for updates, though.
You know what? And a few people have. A handful of people have. So, man,
that's cool.
So today's show, you guys, is going to be a little bit different. Obviously, we range from the beginner to the expert. This show is going to be high, intermediate to expert. Now, earlier this week, we released our Minecraft Me Hunger Games special number 2, because we've done one before, but this was our second one, and we set up a Hunger Games server so you guys can play and hang out with us. And it was a great time, and we had a huge audience, and it was a lot of fun to do. Obviously, if you hung out with us during the entire day, you would have known that it was very hard to get going. Joe, you were explaining that the documentation was just was lacking. It was severely lacking.
It's my constant complaint about Minecraft stuff, server side at least, is I frequently compare documentation to Cisco because I deal with a lot of Cisco stuff at work, and Cisco documentation is notoriously bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it is really terrible. But somehow Minecraft is worse on average. It seems like some of the projects are really, really good about documentation. They write everything down. Everything's up to date. It's well maintained. Often they have a wiki that is kept up to date, not only by the developers, also their community. And they have very few so-called hidden features or little secret things that only a handful of people know
little
about.
Nuggets, yes.
And aren't actually recorded anywhere. So some of them are really, really good about that. The Essentials plugins are one of the better ones. We talked to those guys at Minecon. They're really on top of a lot of it.
Yeah.
The World Edit and World Guard plugins, those are both really well documented. And then there are things like survival games and some of the permissions plugins are a little lacking in documentation. So it's sort of they have great features. You just got to figure out where they are. And so hopefully this is the survival games plugin we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about some of the stuff that you need to know to set it up and how to get a good survival games match going.
So this video, this episode, this podcast is going to be for you if you want to set up your own. Now, here's the thing. I want to preface this right off the top, okay? It's going to be technical, all right? And we're going to try to make it simple to understand. But that being said, I no doubt we're going to get questions about this. We're going to be like, I'm stuck here, I'm stuck there. We'll try to help as much as we can, but you got to figure we're also trying to keep our general audience in mind. So that being said, this video is for you. Share it with your friends that want to set up these things, and you're looking for some visual assistance. This is going to be the edition for you today. Because of that, we really wanted to maximize the time in showing this. You always accuse us for not showing enough actual Minecraft. So today we're taking out the server showcase and the pack picks this week. We do have a brief news announcement that we do want to talk about, and we always answer your questions no matter what. So we're going to go through the questions on this episode, but we really wanted to maximize the time this week to show this off. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump to the brief Minecraft news this week. Here we go.
Minecraft news of the week.
Yay. So, first news story, we're going to, official Mojang news. This is what we're going to talk about. Mojang has pre-released version 1.7.3 today as we record this. This is incorporating what we've already shown off during a snapshot, Twitch broadcasting. So you will now be able, through the Minecraft client, send out and show to the world what you're doing. And I think this will help a lot of inspiring broadcasters, Joe, who maybe don't know how to set up software and screen caps and things like that, to kind of show off their creations and let them be creators as well. And I really like that. It's going to be a game changer because this is one of the first games ever to built in and incorporate it. So it's really nice to see.
We know Twitch is pushing this on other platforms. There are other games that are coming out with this, but Minecraft is one of the first ones, and it's really cool to have it. But 1.7.3, I think, wasn't just about that.
There's more?
Oh, I guess that's just 1.7. 1.7 introduced glass panes.
Yeah.
So they've been around since the launch of 1.7. 1.7.3 is primarily about Twitch Twitch integration. They also fixed a couple of bugs because, why not? You're doing a release, might as well fix some bugs.
Exactly. So there you go. Now, we did announce about a week ago on our Geek Gamer Weekly show, which is back, by the way, but it won't be around on this Sunday, because I have to be somewhere else. I may do it on Monday, but the problem is in doing it Monday at the same time, certain people aren't available. So I'm trying to figure this out still. But anyway, we talked about how GeekGamerTV is heading to the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas next month. First full week of January. It's the 6th through the 11th, if my numbers are correct in my head. So, Joe, in one sentence, can you explain to the people out there, to our great Minecraft Me audience, a lot of kids, they may not know what CES is. It stands for the Consumer Electronics Show. Can you explain in 1 to 2 sentences what the CES Expo is all about? I know. It's a tough one.
So it's everything and anything related to consumer electronics, which includes stuff all the way from literally, and I wish I was joking about this, like hair dryers and home appliances and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All the way up to high-end gaming systems. Especially this year, they're going to do gaming.
Yeah.
Along with full house automation and cars. And does it have electronics in it? Yes.
Yep.
It has a decent chance of being at CES.
Basically, if it has a chip or some sort of circuit board, it's going to be there.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing about CES. Some things that you see from the show they never happen. They're products in thought and design and prototypes. Some things do happen. Obviously, we saw the unveiling of high definition television a couple years ago. The big thing was tablets, and now we see them all over the place from other providers. So we're going to see a lot from gaming this year, just because with the new launch of the consoles, the Xbox One and the PS4, this is their first major exposition to kind of show off maybe some new games, some new accessories from other makers. This is going to be kind of like a mini E3 in a way, just in the gaming side of things. But also we got 4K TV. You got Steambox, actually Valve announcing their hardware partners at the show this year. A lot of great things. So the reason why I'm bringing it up with you guys is we're heading down there. We're going to be doing interviews with gaming providers. I'm also interested in learning about some accessories and materials relating to podcasting, audio equipment. It's really the whole dial of the spectrum is going to be there. If you want to be a part of our coverage, if you actually, and I'm opening this up to, if you are a server provider, if you're a hardware provider and you want your company or your server to get exposure, if you make a product, or maybe your parents or someone makes a product and you want them to get exposure, we're going to be putting these videos that will be highly searched and looked after all over the internet. We're going to put them on our website. We're going to put them on YouTube. We're going to put them everywhere. They'll also be available to view via our Roku app. And so we're looking for sponsors to help offset our personal costs that, we are incurring going to Las Vegas. And, obviously we have airplane, we have lodging, we have rental car, obviously food, and all the gambling. No, I'm kidding about the gambling part. That will not come out of that budget. Sorry. But yes, if you want to be a part of our coverage, we would love to have you. So head over to our website, GeekGamer.tv/CES14, if you want to read about some of the numbers and any information. By the way, you don't have to be big. You don't have to be a huge company to be a part of our coverage. I set up plans and ways of doing things for large and small companies. It just depends on the kind of exposure that you're looking for and what budget you have. So let us know. Actually, let me know. I'm the one doing that. So, all right. So that's the news this week. Big show. Really, really big show, as Johnny Carson would say. Or no, what was that? No, that was Ed Sullivan, I think.
It was a really big shoe, wasn't it?
That was Ed Sullivan, yes. Was it Sullivan?
I have no idea.
Anyway, so we're going to show you guys how to set up your own survival games server. Now, Here's the thing. When people hear the word survival, they think survival mode. But that's not technically accurate, what we're going to show today, right?
No, actually, when you play this, when you play survival games is just a plugin that enables Hunger Games style gameplay.
Right.
Last man standing, everybody has to kill each other, gather your resources, all those sorts of things. And it's a really good plugin for it. I've used it a few times now. I've used it in a few different places, and it works pretty well.
Yeah.
The problem is, the only real issue with it is the setup process is a little weird. And while there's a video out there that talks about it, it's from a really old version, and it's a little hard to follow. So we're going to hopefully improve on that, make it a little better, make it a little easier.
Well, high def, will make it easier for you guys to follow and understand. And the great thing about video is if you don't understand something, you can hit pause, do a little research, or rewind and come back to it. So the first thing, Joe, that you need to do is you have to go and grab the plugin, which is currently available.
Well, we should back up a little bit more.
Oh, actually,
we're making the assumption that you've already watched our creating a bucket server episode.
That's right. That's true. Which we'll have in the show notes. We'll put a link in the show notes for you.
Yeah, will be in the show notes. It's not a big deal.
Right.
So we'll assume that you've already set up a bucket server. You're slightly familiar with permissions and dealing with permissions for those servers, and that you at least know when we talk about downloading a plugin and where it goes, you at least know what we're talking about and have an idea of where that is.
That's true.
So we're going to start with those assumptions.
Right.
And then we're going to say
prerequisites.
The next step is
yes.
You have to have a bucket server set up and ready to go already.
Yes.
And it's really simple. It's no more difficult than setting up a vanilla server. The hardest part is adding permissions to it.
Yep.
So get that server up and running. Then you just go to Survival Games website
and then
download the plugin.
And grab the plugin. So we'll have a link in the show notes to show you where to go grab the plugin. Now, there's two different versions here, Joe, I've noticed. There's one that says recommended and dev. What are the differences between the two? Is dev like the one that's currently obviously in development, like it's going to be buggy? What's the differences?
So the dev build, which I don't, the dev builds are like builds that are happening all the time. They're things that they're updating that have the newest, greatest features and may be more compatible with newer versions like 1.7 or that sort of thing. But they're not necessarily stable and reliable. And while it might work short term for a small server, something like that, you wouldn't necessarily want to roll this into a main server. So the nice thing about this plugin is it's actually designed to be integrated into a bigger server and have little. You could actually have little Hunger Games or Survival Games arenas on your main server. So we could actually put this on the pub server and have people do their own Survival Games matches whenever they wanted. Honestly, we could have a separate section of the map just for Hunger Games. We could have an area, an isolated area. You say that's the impressive. Survival Games area. Here's an arena or two arenas, whatever you want. You could have one arena that is, and we'll talk about what arenas are when we get into it. Arenas that one's like a desert, one's an ocean world, one's a forest area. Different types of gameplay sections. And allow people to just go in and start their own game when they get to a certain number of people. It just auto starts.
And a lot of servers do that already. You go into a lobby, you just basically start your own games, kind of like starting your own Battlefield 4 game. You kind of meet up, you get going, and you just go. A little bit. It's
a little bit like that. Yeah, you same sort of idea. You have a lobby, and basically you would have scoreboards where you can pick which arena you wanted to join. And as soon as the arena reached a certain point or enough players voted to start it, they would start their match and just start playing.
All right, so we're going to say this one more time. I don't want to beat this too much. You already have your bucket server set up.
Yeah,
it is running,
or Spigot. In this case, we're going to run Spigot. But yeah,
you have your Spigot server or your bucket server running. You've set it up. You've watched our tutorial on how to do that.
You've gotten into game, made sure it works.
Everything's working, and now you've downloaded the plugin. You've downloaded it. Then what, Joe? What do they do after they've downloaded it?
So after you've downloaded the plugin, you put it in your plugins directory and run your server one more time. And what that does, and this is true for any of the plugins, it generates all of its default config files. And 90% of the plugins do that. They just create their default base configs. Then you go in and stop the server and go and edit it. And that's where we are now.
Okay. So we're gonna through the magic of technology and intertubes and the tubes
and things
that are. So this is going to be a very obviously dry. This is command line. This is a terminal. This is
right. And so we're doing this on a Linux box. You can do this, of course, on Windows. You can do it on Mac. Any platform that you can run a Minecraft server on, you can do this. This just happens to be convenient for sharing the screen across both of us.
Right. Yep.
But the same thing applies. You see the plugins directory, so we're going to go into plugins.
Okay.
And now you can see there's a whole bunch of different folders in here. These are different plugins I've already set up. This is more or less my base plugins that I put on a server whenever I build a server.
Okay.
Tools that make it easy for me to deal with things. The only one that's extra here is the Vanish No packet. We had that on for the show because we didn't want players to see us flying around over their heads.
Yeah, because we were doing camera work and stuff,
Right.
and people, yeah.
But this is sort of a base thing. You can see there's a permissions plugin in there. It's got World Guard and World Border. It's got World Edit. World Border limits the size of the map because that always drives me up the wall.
Right.
And then there's the Essentials plugins, and I really only put in a couple of the Essentials plugins there. You don't need to put all of them in there. And survival games.
Okay.
Which, of course, is also new.
Right.
So we're going to head into, so we've already run the server once. We're going to head into survival games, the survival games config folder.
Okay.
And here you can see it creates these files for us.
So
Now, these are totally empty.
Right.
They're not totally empty, but they're preset with defaults.
Yeah, I was going to say, these are just the basic default files. So when you install this and put this in, this is what you see.
Right. And so some of them, like system and spawns, are empty because there's nothing in there. We haven't defined any arenas. We haven't defined any spawn points or anything like that.
Got it.
Some of them, though, like config, has the beginnings of the configuration.
Wow. Okay.
So these are the base settings that are good enough to get a server going, but may not be optimized for exactly what you're looking for.
Okay. All right.
So we're going to go through and edit that config file. And you can do this with any text editor. But we're gonna go down here and talk about what these different things mean. Debug is just going to dump a lot of debug messages into the log. It's helpful if you're setting up a server, if you're trying to deal with a problem. Really, you don't need it once you're satisfied. Turn it back off.
Okay.
Check for updates. It just notifies you on the command line if there's an update available or not. It seems to be kind of iffy on whether this one works or not. Some plugins it worked really well. In survival games, at least, I've been having problems with it working. Auto start. These are the first settings that we really want to focus on.
So is this is the time limit basically, right?
No, this is actually if you read it, it says set how many players are needed for the game to auto start. Once the player limit is reached, it will wait for X amount of seconds for additional players and then auto start after that time period.
I like
so
that. Okay.
You can have it set so that if you have a small arena, 5 people join it, it starts counting down. If nobody else joins it within 30 seconds, it starts the match with 5 people.
Nice.
But it has space for, say, 10 or 15, whatever. In this case, you can see the other thing. The last command in there is the auto start vote. But you can see right now this is set up for 20 players minimum to start.
Okay.
And it'll count down for 20 seconds after 20 people get into it. And if more people join, they can join in the game. If they don't join within that 20 seconds, it continues without them, and you can't join a game in progress.
Right, because it wouldn't be fair.
Right.
Right.
Now the last one there's auto start vote. So say you have a server going, but you only get let's say 10 people in it instead of the full 20.
Right.
Well, with auto start vote, that's the percentage of players who have to vote to start the match, and it will start as well
so
instead of waiting for 20 people.
So you have 20 people, and let's say 15 people are in there saying yes, ready to go. That would start?
Well, 20 people, it'll start counting down.
Oh, I see.
I mean, if you only get 10 people in there, you'd have to have 8 people vote to start it, and then it'll start counting down anyway.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's what that's for.
All right.
The next section in here, if the player queue is enabled, then a player tries to join a game that is not joinable, as in it's in game.
Right.
They will be added to a queue and wait, and when that game finishes, they'll auto join the next one.
Oh, nice.
So you can have a game going, a limited number of spaces, and have other players queue up and wait for that match to finish, and then they can join they'll be in the next match for sure.
Got it.
They obviously will get precedence over people who are already in the match because those people won't have been able to join the queue because they've been in the game.
Makes sense.
So this is kind of cool. These are this next one is he didn't put a space in that, but that's fine. If set to true commands not associated with survival games will not be allowed to be run by players in game. That's fairly important if you have admin or mod level players who have more permissions than average, able to do things, or if you have commands like home on your server.
Got it. Okay.
So you can imagine somebody could start a game and do /home.
Right.
And bail on the game and go back to their home or go back to some other place.
Oh, geez.
With this, it'll block those commands, so they actually can't leave the arena.
You need that blocked.
Fully done.
Yeah.
It's really important on a server where you have other things going on.
Makes sense.
Disallowed commands. So this is command whitelist. So after you turn this on, you can then re-enable a list of commands. So the example they have here is kit. Essentials adds kits into Minecraft. So if you want to have kits that people can still spawn, you have to re-enable the kit command, and they'll be able to still spawn those kits and gather those kits. An example would be if you have you
want to give them
specifically for for this kind of game, you can have it listed in there. That sort of thing.
So to clarify, you could have them say, for example, if you want to give them everyone a diamond pickaxe to start, that you can give them that in a kit.
Yeah, you could give that to everyone in a kit, or you can force that onto everyone, or allow them optionally to gather those if you want.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Grace period is how long the grace period be after the start of the game in seconds. So this is when you start the match, when the match actually starts, you get 20 people in, it auto starts or an admin starts it or whatever. How long can those people are those people kept from killing each other until the match actually starts?
Jeez, okay.
So they can move off their platforms. They can go and gather the treasure chest that'll be in the middle, which we'll hit in a minute.
Right.
They can go and collect materials out of those. They can get moving around, but they can't actually start killing each other for 20 seconds.
Oh.
And you can set this to whatever you want. So if you wanted to have a 5-minute grace period, people can go off and hide or do whatever they want. You can do it. 5 minutes seems kind of long.
And in the Hunger Games, there's no grace period. You just go.
Yeah, so you can set it to 0 if you wanted.
Yeah.
Restock chests. This is kind of cool. So at midnight on the server, it'll restock all of the chests that are on the server.
Now this is in-game time, not real life time. Of course,
yeah.
Right?
This is so at when the switches over from the end of the day to the beginning of the day, it will throw items, replace the items in the chests that have been emptied or that have been used.
Okay.
Stop that. All right. The next one down here is control block placing and breaking. So this allows you to, if you want to have, you can have a couple different versions. You can either have a Hunger Games or a Survivor Games where everybody has to stay on the surface. They can't really go anywhere. They can't dig. They can't do tunnels or burrows or anything like that. You just set it so they can't break hardly any blocks. Maybe trees or a few things like that. Or you can have one that's wide open. It's like regular Minecraft. You can dig a tunnel if you want to. You can go build a mine. You can build a house. Do whatever you want.
Right.
During your Hunger Games match. So this allows you to enable and disable breaking of blocks, breaking and placing of blocks.
Now, we were running into this issue, though, I thought.
Right. We did. We ran into this issue when we were playing, but that wasn't actually related to this list. I'd fixed this list so that everything except glass was breakable.
Right.
What the problem we had was it was actually a permissions conflict.
Okay.
Another plugin was blocking people from being able to
one that we already had on our
like
server existing, right? Because we were running
one that was already there. One that I finally was just nope, screw it, and gave up on trying to deal with it.
Got it. Okay.
So that was the issue we're running into. But this list is you'd put material IDs or block IDs for different blocks you want to be able to destroy and have players destroy and create.
Okay.
The next section, rollback. So at the end of a match, if you've done a good match, there will be holes and craters and dead bodies. Well, not dead bodies, but there will be things everywhere.
Yeah.
You could have creepers blow holes in the ground. You can have players set TNT traps and blow holes in the ground. You could have players digging holes and stuff like that. It actually will roll back the arena to its original state.
So every time you start new, it's going to be
back to where it was.
Back to where it was.
None of the
Makes
changes
sense.
they make in the arena are permanent, which is awesome. It means you don't have to go in there and clean up messes afterwards. But this sets how many changes, how many blocks you want it to update every tick.
Oh.
A server tick is supposed to be 20 ticks per second. So this is updating 2,000 blocks per second is how many it will roll back. Setting seems to be fine. It doesn't take that long to roll everything back. People usually don't make huge changes. Settings for when game nears end. So this is where if you get down to a small number of players,
the lightning thing,
you can have lightning start firing down on them.
But it doesn't hurt them though,
damage.
Right? Yeah.
No, it just indicates where they are to other players.
Got it.
So this is a really good one. We had it set for 5 on ours, but obviously you can set it to whatever you want.
Whatever.
And if you don't want it at all, you can turn it off.
Huh.
And the interval is how often it fires that. So it's location of every player every X seconds. So the interval is supposed to be every 20 seconds. I think I had it set down to 5 seconds on our match, but you can obviously change it to whatever you want. Then the last one here, this next setting is if enabled after X amount of time, each player will be teleported to the center. So this is that sort of deathmatch thing where, all right, you guys, I'm tired of waiting for this match to be finished.
We're going to have a winner.
Just get it over with.
Yeah.
So they can be anywhere in the arena, and it will teleport them into the center near where they started. and then they have to fight to the death.
Which in the Hunger Games in the movies, they ended up coming back to the center anyway. So.
They did pretty much come back to the center, but they were being chased by the first movie. If you haven't seen it or read the books, sorry, they were chased by wolves.
That's right,
sort of. Anyway, in the first book. So the last setting here is for a SQL server, and what this does is it actually allows you to hook up to a SQL server and store stats.
Ooh,
so every
I like
time somebody
that.
kills each other, it'll dump it into a stats. Every time somebody, stuff like that. And then you can go back and look at this later, look at this database. You do have to write your own front page for it. There's no pre-built, PHP screen to load this.
Can you just have it send into a CSV or something?
Well, you can export it. Once it's in SQL, you can export it to a CSV from there.
That'd be great, yeah.
But that basically, those are the settings. The top part there is the settings for your SQL server. And the bottom part here is what parts are enabled. There is a web interface that it has. I don't know how well it works. That's what this is.
Oh, okay. All right.
I've not actually tried it. I have no idea how well it works or not.
All right.
But so basically, to turn on stats, per game stats, you set this to true, and up here you set your SQL Server information. And if you're setting up a server, you should already know what a SQL Server is. It's really not that complicated, like MySQL or something like that. You don't have to. I'm not talking about Microsoft's SQL Server. I'm just saying any SQL Server.
Yeah, makes sense.
But that's it. These are the settings that you really care about. This config file is where most of your initial configuration is done. Once you're done with this, then it's all in game. Actually, everything.
Wow,
it's actually really cool.
Okay.
So I'm going to close that, and we're not going to save any changes to it. But here, so the other full files that are in here, actually, I shouldn't say there's nothing else. There are a few other things. We're going to talk about chest.yml.
Okay.
So this is, how when you start Hunger Games, there's all that equipment out around the center.
Are you talking about all the chests and stuff?
Well, in original Hunger Games, remember there was stuff strewn all over the center.
Different items and stuff.
Yeah, and like there was the bow, and there's swords, and there's knives, and there's tons of stuff.
Right.
And all useful things. So in survival games, the chests are the equivalent of that. And basically these are where you define what goes into the chests.
Oh, so if you don't want there to be really high-end items in any of the chests, you can say that right here.
Right. And you denote, so notice how it has a rate, it says chest and then ratio 2.
Right.
And then it says level 1 and then a whole bunch of items in level 2 and then a whole bunch of items in level 3 and so on and so forth.
What's that mean?
So the levels are what kinds of items are going to go into chests. Level 1 is the base level. Now the ratio defines the odds for the next level. So for every 100 chests, most of them are going to be level 1, but on a 2-to-1 odd, right?
Yeah.
There are going to be some level 2s. And then from the level 2s on a 2-to-1 odd, there's going to be level 3s and so on and so forth, all the way up to level 5. And actually you can go further than this if you want to have more levels. It's just the potential of having those chests decreases rapidly.
Yeah.
And all these items are placed randomly in the chests you place in the server. So unless you preload a chest, which you can do, you don't know necessarily what's going to be in any specific chest unless you actually go and open it.
Makes sense.
So, but here you can actually denote what's in there. So if you wanted to make a really brutal, kind of ridiculous match, you could just put in like diamond weapons and bows and arrows in the level 1 and just dump all the rest.
And then no armor.
Whatever. Who cares? I mean, yeah, but yeah, you can put whatever you want in any of these. Yeah. So, or you could do the ridiculous. If you want to have it go forever, put wooden swords and diamond armor in the first chest. So everybody gets diamond armor and wooden swords.
Yeah.
Which would take a while.
Sure would. Yeah. Everybody gets a stick. Go.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Good luck. Might be faster just to bash somebody with your fist at that point.
Yeah, that's true.
So anyway, so that's what these chests are. The next one here, we'll close out of that. The next one here is kits.
Okay.
So these are kits. These are, like we talked about, you can have everyone preload with kits, and you can define what the kits are here. This is sort of, you can see in the documentation, he talks about cost is the cost to use this kit. They haven't implemented that function yet. Icon is to be displayed for that kit. So they haven't really fully implemented kits yet.
Okay.
They're working on it.
All right.
But this will be where you can load up you can load up different items if you want.
Makes sense.
So you can see here's a some kind of a sword. I'm not sure. I'm terrible at item IDs. So, but 267, 10, sharpness 4. So that's an enchantment on it.
So you can
and
actually
it's a blade.
so you can add enchantments to the tools as well. Oh
yeah.
wow!
So like down below, you see 276, fire 2, and it's a fire. So it's probably who knows, maybe a bow with fire enchant on it or something like that.
Totally.
But yeah, you can add enchantments to these, and you can see the costs. Again, those aren't implemented at this point, but they should be at some point. And it would be, I'm gonna guess what they'll do is after so many kills, you'll get points that you can use to buy kits.
Oh, that's very cool.
So those are kits. Those are still, like I said, coming up. Messages is one last one. We're not going to go and edit any of these, but these are, you can, if you want to change the language of the game, so it talks about,
so maybe instead of player joining the game, you can have it saying tribute joining the game.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Well, actually,
sense.
this says, so see how it's got the ampersand $, $player. So it's actually replacing player with the user's name, the actual individual's name. So these are all variables that you can set. But yeah, it's you can go through and change all these settings, change the language if you want.
Right.
Pretty powerful, pretty cool that you can do that. That's really pretty much it. The other folder that's in here is arena data, and you can see there's nothing in here right now. Those actually will get loaded up with binary files that define the arena. But those are your config files.
So we went in, we made the changes, we've customized it, obviously.
Right. So the steps we've gone through so far, we put the plugin on, we started up the server, generated these files, we stopped the server, then we went in and changed our settings in our config and our chests and our kits,
right,
and our messages potentially to be whatever we want.
Right.
And now the next step is to start server back up.
All right.
So we go back here to where it is, and we get our server string. This is the string that you use to start your server in this case.
So just to explain the string, basically you're also emphasizing how much memory is being used, correct? And I can see that in there.
Yeah, so in this case, I'm saying the minimum size is 1 gig, the maximum size is 4 gig. That's how much is allocated to this particular process.
Right.
It all depends on how many players you have in it, and how many other plugins you have going, and also how big your map is.
And actually, also how big your server is, like what kind of strength you got under the hood.
Right. Yeah. You can't allocate more than you have. So if you have a server with 8 gigs of RAM and you try to allocate 16 to it, things are going to go poorly.
Would you recommend? Let me ask you this. Obviously. Yeah. You know, let's say, I'm a kid and I'm running a small little server. My server has 4 gigs of memory as total. What would you allocate to this instance? Would you really go all 4 or maybe do 3?
I probably wouldn't. I would probably go 2 or 3, but I would also keep the map size much smaller.
Right.
Very small map size, and keep the player count really low. So 4 is a little low for I actually when we ran it on the day, I think I gave it 8 gigs. So 4 is a little low because we were trying to get as many players as we could into it. 4 is a little low for some, but yeah, it really depends on what you're trying to cater to. If you only have a handful of players, maybe you only have 6 to 10 people who want to actually play.
Right.
You can get away with a gig or 2 gigs, no big deal at all. If you have 32 players, 64 players who all want to play, you're going to need a little bit more.
Got it. Okay.
So, but anyway, we'll start that up. You'll see it run through all of its stuff.
Wow.
Somewhere in there was the port number for the server. Congrats if you found it. It's still whitelisted. And now we actually can join the server.
Oh, so it's running. So we do
it's running. And actually, if we do a plugins command, plugins, you see it lists the plugins that are installed in the server. And
so what I'm going to do,
it's ready to go.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over. I'm going to Alt Tab into. I already have an instance loading here, and I'll bring this up full screen sometime today. There it goes. And now I can just jump right on in. And here it is. I mean, here is the server that we just started just now. And so you could see myself, and we also have a guinea pig, Jace Rossi, a good friend of ours, and then you. We're all in.
Yeah. So I'm going to bring you over to where we are.
Okay.
So the cool thing about survival games, this plugin, is everything interacting with it. Almost everything is off of the World Edit's tool. World Edit, the wand in World Edit.
Right.
And to get that wand, You just do in your chat, you do slash, you have to be an op or you have to have permission to run it.
Right.
So you do //wand. That's it. I don't give it to you.
And there it is.
There you go. And then it's really simple. So at this point, we have a couple things we need to do. The steps or the things that we need to really deal with are, let's see, I'm getting back to my notes. Is setting up an arena, of course, and then building a lobby spawn and a lobby wall for that arena. So we're gonna start with the arena, and what we'll do is we'll just create a really simple square arena. And I'm just using these as markers to show the edges of the arena for now.
Our chat room is asking us just do a /op all, right? Yeah, that's
yeah, that's a great way to do it. So I'm gonna do a wall.
Okay.
We're just gonna do a really simple square-ish wall here.
So we're just making a small room, essentially.
Yeah, basically, I'm just gonna do a small room. This is a quick and dirty way, quick and easy way to get this done.
Right.
Let's see. This out to about there. That was close. And a big hint is, remember back when we did mods for Minecraft and we talked about the world edit client user interface?
Yeah.
I'm using that and it's so much better. So when I select an area, it highlights the blocks that I've selected, and I can really, really clearly see what I've
Now, we showed how to do that with Magic Launcher, but I don't think we've shown how to do that with the new...
we haven't talked about that with Forge, and we will do that.
Yes.
The issue is you have to... Forge, because it's a different plugin architecture, you have to have plugins, modules for Forge, or plugins for Forge that support that.
Right, makes sense.
So,
yeah.
Anyway, so here's that's going to be our arena.
Okay.
And we'll do a...
So not the holding room, but the actual... like
This is actually going to be the arena, yeah. I don't want to make it too big.
Yeah, this is the actual Hunger Games area right here. Yeah, got it.
And then we'll do some... so I'm just going to set these up just so I know where they are. These are going to be the start points. So we'll just make a 4-player arena. It's not going to be very big.
So you can actually... So you can actually customize this as start points, or do you need to have it a specific block?
No, I'm actually just setting these blocks for my reference.
Okay, so
it's just so I know where they're going to be.
So it's not for the game. The game doesn't need it.
No, the game doesn't recognize any blocks. You can see out here on the edge. You can see this stone line, this circle that I made.
Yeah,
I made that for when we did the show because all of our start points were on that circle. So I basically walked around the circle and set start points as I was going.
Got it. Okay.
But we have to have an arena first. So we'll go ahead and define an arena. Now, the arena is defined using the wand. So you select an area. I just hit both corners of this. And unfortunately, you don't have the command on there. But now I'm going to expand this arena up. And we'll go, say, 50 blocks up. You're not really going to see anything.
Yeah.
Because... you can't.
Right.
And we'll go 10, I'll go 10 blocks down, which is honestly a little more than we need. And now the next step is to create the arena. I mean, really, that's it. And it's pretty easy. The command is, and actually, why don't we have you do this? Because they'll see you type it in.
Right.
And you actually will need to select all this with your wand.
All right. So
we'll go back to do that. So grab that wand out, and the first one to click on is this block here in the corner.
Left click.
Either one, left or right, and you'll see it says set first position set to something.
Right. The coordinates. Right.
Coordinates. Yeah. And then go over to this corner, the far corner.
Yep.
And right click on that one, and it'll set the second position. So now you've selected basically one tall blocks. That square.
Right, this whole area.
And we need to expand that area.
Right.
So look straight up.
Okay.
And do // expand and do like 15. Okay, so now, and you'll see it says so many thousands blocks selected.
Yep.
Okay, and now look down and do the same thing, but do like 10. Because we don't need to go that far under.
So same command, expand.
Yep.
Okay.
10. Okay, and now you'll see it selected more blocks. That's straight down.
Right.
Now you have an area selected.
Got it.
And again, this right here is where that world edit client user interface comes in so handy, because you actually would see the box you've selected.
I think I know what we're going to do next week.
So anyway, this now that you have the area selected,
Yeah.
you do /SG for survival games.
Okay.
And then space. And you have to be an admin to do this. You have to have the right permissions to do this, of course.
Right.
Create arena, all one word.
Okay.
And just hit enter.
And it says arena
and there,
ID
it created
1?
an arena of ID 1.
Okay.
So now we have our arena.
Okay.
The next thing we have to define is our lobby wall or our lobby spawn. And conveniently, look at this, someone built a lobby type area over here.
How convenient is that, Joe? It's like a
It's
cooking
super
show.
convenient.
Get
it's
in there.
like we knew that was, it's like somebody knew that was going to happen.
You know what? Side note, real quick.
Yeah.
I feel like we have like a bodyguard. Like he's kind of just.
Yeah, he is sort of following us around.
Yeah,
isn't he?
he's just like, yes, sir. We can assist you. Yes.
Well, he needs to get away from the wall. He's kind of in the way.
Move,
Yeah, we're going to use that wall.
sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
There you go. Good job.
Thanks.
All right. So to do a lobby, there's a couple things we need. First, we need a lobby spawn, and the other thing we need is a lobby wall.
Yep.
And you can have lobby walls, and for as many different arenas as you have, you need one per arena. A lobby wall is just a wall of signs. Seriously, signs. Just flat.
So you just
on
put
the wall.
signs up.
Yeah, you just put signs up.
But you have to put the signs up, though.
You do have to put the signs up. It doesn't auto-create signs for you.
Okay.
There is a trick with World Edit where you can put in the signs if you want, but I'm not going to bother.
Okay.
So basically, yeah, you just put signs up,
All right.
and you can do this as big as you want.
A nice
or as
wall
small
of
as you want.
signs.
Nice wall of signs, and then go ahead and use your wand there, the wooden axe.
Yeah.
To left click on the top left one.
Now, on the sign or the block behind it?
The sign, not the
sign.
block.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. And now do the same thing on the bottom right one.
Right click.
Right click on it, rather.
Got
set
it.
your second position. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, another SG command. I'm
Okay.
going to reset the date.
SG.
Real quick to day.
Mhm.
SG space add wall space 1. And that's for the arena. We already created arena 1.
Added lobby wall.
Now, look at that.
Whoa. Look at that.
Look at that. It says, look at that. Click to join arena 1, waiting area, arena 1, waiting 000.
Now, what's the numbers mean?
Okay, so those are, I think, I'm trying to remember. Well, I know what they are. I'm just not sure which one is which. No, I do know the middle one is how many have died.
Okay.
The first one, I think, is how many are in the queue to start in the next game.
Got it.
And the third one is how many people are in the game still.
Got it.
Or wait, it's how many people is still in, how many people have died, and how many people started. I can't remember. But anyway, it's all to do with the players that are in the match. And we'll come back and we'll take a look at this once we get a match going. So we've built the arena wall. We also need to create an arena spawn, which is somewhere people go back to when they die.
Makes sense.
Right? When they die in the match, you don't want them to hang out in the match because that would be silly. So we'll just create the arena spawn wherever you're standing. That's good. Perfect.
All right.
So another SG command.
Okay.
You don't have to look down. You just look normal. I mean, it's
SG.
going to base it off of where you're standing.
Right.
So it's SG and then space set lobby spawn.
All one word or all separate?
All one word. Yeah.
Right.
Set lobby spawn. All one word.
All right.
So this is a typing test.
And it gave me this info.lobby spawn SG thing. Oh, there. Yeah, that's.
But that will set your lobby spawn location. I believe it worked.
Yeah, it gave me this SG in brackets, and then it says info.lobby spawn. So I don't know.
Yeah, that it should work. So that should work. That'll be the lobby spawn now.
All right.
It looks like it may not have a message set up.
Oh.
So that may be why you got that default return.
Got
so
it.
now,
Okay.
so we've created the arena.
Okay.
We've created the lobby wall, and we've created a lobby spawn for people to go back to once they die.
Right.
But what we haven't created are the start points, because you notice up here it says 000. There's no space in this match. In fact, if you right click on it,
Right click on this or this?
get off of your axe though.
Oh, okay.
Or get off. Yeah. So there you go. Just right click on it. You'll get a message that says.
I don't even get a message. Oh, you have to click this, not this.
You have
sign.
to click on the very first one.
This first
on the
sign,
very first one. And it says no spawns set for arena. So let's go create some spawns.
Oh, so basically starting blocks, essentially.
Starting points. And that's what the stone
so
blocks
these were visual.
are for.
These were visual indicators for
Just
you.
visual
so you would
cues
know,
for me to know where I was going to
follow.
put them.
Got
so
it.
I can put more if I want to do more. Oh, actually, now I can't. once you've created the arena, you can't edit it anymore.
Oh, so you want to basically set it up the way you want it first, then
and then define your arena.
Makes sense.
So we're gonna have to SG Dell Arena, because we're gonna have to add chests.
Yeah, because you can't make any modifications once you add it.
Right. So, but we'll set our spawns first. So SG. So stand on the point you want.
Okay. So,
I'm standing on this one,
and I'll stand here
and do set spawn next space next. So SG. No, I'm sorry. SG / SG space set spawn, all one word, space next.
So /SG space set spawn space next. Spawn 1 in arena 1 set.
Okay, and now move over to your other block there.
Okay.
And do it again. You just hit enter and up.
And up, yep, and same command.
Yep.
Now it says spawn 3 because I assume you made the one over there.
I created the other 2. So we now, if we go back into our lobby,
okay,
we'll head back into the lobby. Now you can see, if we right-click to join,
whoa,
we're in the arena.
And now we can't even move, though.
No, we can't move because the match hasn't started yet.
Oh, that's
so
wicked.
if we do, so I have obviously we have permissions to.
Should we have our friend? Should we have our friend go?
Yeah, let's have Jace go in there and click on that wall.
I like how he nodded his.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
There he is.
Hey.
So now we have 3 people in here.
Okay.
We can go ahead and start SG / SG if you're so there's 3 different levels of permissions. There's players, staff, and admins. And players can join, staff can start and stop matches and disable arenas, and admins can do everything, obviously. So I'm going to do go ahead and do /SG and space start space 1, I think.
Started game 1.
Yeah.
10.
Starting in 10. So it doesn't do full countdown, but you'll know when it's ready because you can move around. There it goes. 3, 2. And now we can run around. Look at that. Oh, we got to kill each other, though.
And notice, well, this is a grace period, it says we have.
Oh, yeah, for 20 seconds.
And then
so
the
we don't
sun,
know when that's going to be
the
over.
one thing I noticed, too, is the sun reset, too.
The sun reset. Yeah, because of the refreshes all of the bins at midnight.
Now, I don't have sound on right now, so you can't hear us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
there it is.
No.
There it is.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no. It's a fist combat.
It is. Uh-oh. Oh, wait, is your health going down? Oh,
No.
it is slowly.
Yeah,
no,
but
it's not.
Oh, I know who we can.
Oh, I lost some. Oh, it's regenerating because I have it on difficulty 0.
I have.
So this is going to take a while.
Yeah, we'll just stop.
Yeah. So now, if you get into a match and you want to bail and you don't want to stay there, do /SG space leave.
Is it just me or anybody?
Anybody.
Oh, anybody can do that.
Anybody can do that. And see the last person to have left. So it says, if you look at the chat, it's kind of entertaining. It says, Payback was killed by unknown with an unknown item. There are 2 players remaining. And then Sir Chaos was killed by unknown with an unknown item. And then Mobix, MOBI1X killed Sir Chaos to win the Survival Games on Arena 1. So he actually won this particular match because.
And then it brings us right back to the lobby.
It brings us right back to the lobby, which is exactly what it's supposed to do. And if you go back and look at the board, here it says 004.
So 4 is the number of spots that are available.
Yeah, so why don't Mobix and I go ahead and join the match again.
Oh, look at that. You can see it goes the 1.
Yep.
And now it goes
so I'm going to start it.
And look, it even tells you who's in that match.
It tells you who's in there. And, you can see the countdown there. 4, 3, 2, match starts.
In-game.
In-game. Yeah. And now if you go to click to join that.
Arena already in-game, but I'm number 1 in line.
Yeah. So now you will, as soon as this match is over, so I'm going to leave.
Oh, wow. And now I'm
now
ready
you're
to
in
go.
the arena. Yeah, ready to start.
So
now you can leave if you want to leave the arena before the match starts, you have to do the /SG leave.
Now let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
So let's say we had this as a part of our server. We had a section of our server for Hunger Games.
Mm-hmm.
I got in line and then I went back home. I went /home. I went back to my home, started working in my homestead.
It'll pop you into the match as soon as
it will just pull me right over here when I'm ready to rock.
Yep.
Wow. That's so cool.
Yeah. So go ahead and do /SG space leave.
Okay.
And notice so the bad part is there's no chests. We forgot to build chests.
Right, yes.
So we have to delete the arena so we can edit the arena so that we can add the chests in. So do /SG space Del Arena space 1 because that's the arena we created.
The arena is deleted.
Okay, so now if you look at the sign, you'll see the signs are all blank now.
Because we don't have an arena anymore.
Because we don't have an arena. Right. So let's head back out here. We will grab a couple of chests. Oh, yeah, we also switched game modes.
Oh, yeah, now
Notice we're not in creative anymore.
Yeah.
So let me, I'll grab some chests. And just regular chests, and we'll throw a couple out. Not too many.
Was it at game mode space 1, right?
Yeah, /game mode space 1.
Yep.
There we go. That's some chests. I'll put one facing the other way.
I'll grab one as well so you guys can see.
And they're just empty. There's nothing in them.
So you don't have to put anything in them. Just put the chests in.
No, you can preload them if you want to. Don't put them on the blocks because of the start points.
Oh, that makes sense.
So yeah, you see, I mean, we just need a handful of them because we only have 4 players. Remember?
Yeah. I wanted to add a few.
Might be excessive.
Well, the only reason why I wanted to add a few because I wanted to show everybody the variety of stuff because of the ratio stuff
That's
that
true.
we said. Yeah.
So all right, so there we've got that. Now we need to redefine the arena. So you know how to you want to. I'll just take care of that.
All right. So you got to basically redraw it out the ceiling.
Redraw it out
and everything.
Yep.
And the thing is, once you define the arena, people can't escape it because you've basically made this invisible wall around it, right?
Actually, no, they can still leave the arena. Okay, so I created a new arena.
But you're just basically setting the space for the server so it knows where to spawn all the tools.
So it knows where the arena is going to be.
Stuff.
So because we deleted the arena, we have to recreate the arena's lobby wall.
And don't you have to recreate the spawn points too?
We will have to do that, yeah.
Oh, okay. So right now you're doing the commands on
recreating
your end
the wall.
quick.
So now you can see the wall now says Survival Games Arena 1 waiting.
Can't join it because we need to set some spawns.
There's no arena. Yeah, there's no spawns. So we'll go back in here and do SG create spawn next. Or sorry, set spawn next. So many different commands. And I like to sort of do it opposites, so that people aren't necessarily spawning right next to each other, although they do get a come time.
Okay.
So now that's done.
Mm-hmm.
Let's rejoin it.
Okay.
I'm in.
Guard, come on over, guard. Yeah.
There
you go. Yeah.
There you go. Good job.
Okay.
All right. I'll start.
10 seconds. Here we go. I'll turn on the sounds for this one because we'll have weapons. Well, we'll see what. But now, before you don't grab everything yet, you guys, because I just wanted to show real quick. So in this one, we have an iron sword, arrows, and a leather tunic. In this one, you have a leather tunic and some ender pearls.
Yep.
So you can see this one's got golden chest plate and fish. So you can see everything. It's completely. Every chest is different.
Yeah. It will randomly. Uh-oh. I have a bad feeling about this. I think he got the only sword.
Bye.
Yeah. I'm going to stab him with an arrow. Where are you going? Coward. Oh, I'm done. I died. And you got the lightning when I died. And actually, before he kills you, run into the lobby real quick. Because like I said, the lobby, the game wall does not actually block you in. That's why I tend to create the arenas surrounded by glass and make glass an unbreakable object.
That makes
take
sense.
a look on the list. You can see Mobix, Sir Chaos, and Payback.
Oh, that lightning was because there's less than.
There's less than 3. So, but you can see, look how my name is Gray now.
And here's the other thing too. Now remember, you guys, I was in creative, but now I joined in the game. I'm in survival. I cannot do a game mode 1. I bet.
No.
See? Oh wait, I just became creative.
Oh, you know what? Because on the server we're actually set as ops, not with permissions.
I follow you.
So if you have permissions, it won't allow you. But op overrides anything. That's nice. Wow. Anyway, so now, I mean, that's really it though. That's you saw
Wow.
we did the chests.
Yeah.
We created the chests or added the chests, set the arena, set the lobby wall, set the spawn points, started a couple matches, and we were good.
Now, some people may ask, well, how did we set it up so only certain people can join? That just goes back to the basic whitelist config on your server itself.
Yep. Now you can limit using permissions. I don't know if you have the Survival Games plugin website up anywhere.
I can go back to it. Sure.
Yeah. If we can go back to it
Yeah,
real
absolutely.
quick.
Yeah. Give me a second here to do that.
Okay.
Okay. And here it is now.
Okay. So see under perms and commands, go ahead and click on that.
Right.
And if you scroll down, you can see these are all the commands we were just running. /SG. So scroll up a little bit. We want to start at the top. Player commands SG vote. So that's the players actually can vote whether they want to start the game or not. We talked about you have to have 75% by default. You keep scrolling down. I don't know why you keep scrolling down.
Well, I was trying to center it. There we go. Sorry.
Okay. So SG vote is the players can vote to start or stop the game on their own, or mostly start the game. SG leave the game, whether it's in progress or you're just into it. SG join. So /SG join will actually teleport you from anywhere on the server to where the lobby spawn point is.
So you don't even have to walk to it. It'll just take you there.
No, you don't have to walk to the arena. You can just it'll teleport you straight there. You can click on the wall you want to join, or if you know the name of the game, you can just do /SG join the game ID, and it'll join you into the game. Or put you in the queue. /list shows a list of the players that are dead or alive, but that's only for people who are in the actual match. So they will actually be able to see who's still around. SG spectate, you can turn spectate mode on and off based on permissions. Basically, it allows someone to be in the arena but not an active participant. They can't fight. They can't do any of those sort of things.
They see them,
they can see what's going on.
I
believe they're visible to the other players, but I'm not sure on that. I've never actually played with SG spectate very much. SG LQ or leave queue. So if you're queued up into a match and you decide you don't want to get into that game, just /SG leave queue or LQ, and it'll drop you out of that queue. So those are the player commands. Admin commands, create arena, we already did that. Create set lobby wall, we did that. Add wall. So this is, or set lobby spawn. Add wall is where we created that wall of signs and define that as the lobby wall. SG disable. That's a really nice command. If you are working on an arena and you don't want everybody in there, you can do /SG disable. Or if you have a game in progress, and you want to kill the game and just pause everything, or not pause everything, but end that, /SG disable, then the game ID will disable that particular game or that arena. If you don't give it an arena ID, it'll disable all of the arenas in the entire server. Enable re-enables it, just like disabled it. SG start, so you can force an arena to start ahead. And then the second command there, SG arena ID, start arena ID in time, forces you to start forces the arena to start and also sets the countdown timer. Spawn next, obviously how you set the spawns. If you find one is in a funny place and you want to move it, you can just move it with spawn ID. You just have to know which spawn number you're moving. Del Arena deletes the arenas and reset spawn, deletes all of the spawns in the arena, and you have to go through back and re-add them all. And then reload just reloads all the configs in case you change anything. So the ones that are important there, something important to keep in mind rather is when you're creating the spawn points, it's a manual process. It takes time. And if you're trying to make a really advanced arena and have really set spawn points, it will take you a while to set all of those and be precise on them. That's why those markers that I put down, the little stones that are in specific spots so I know where to stand when I'm doing it, is really important. It makes things way, way easier. It's also important to keep track of how many you're creating.
Yeah.
You'd hate to go all the way around and then I forgot. I think I've got back to where I started and overlap. So you end up with people spawning literally on top of each other, right next to each other. That would be less good. So the last section of that page is really important. Permissions, player permissions. I don't know if you can switch back to that.
Oh, sure. Yep. Give me a second here to get to it. Yep, I am back now.
Okay. So, right there at the bottom of that, actually, that's a good place to be. It says SG can be interchanged with survival games, HG, and Hunger Games. So if you don't want to type SG every time, you'd rather type out survival games every time, you can do that. I don't know why you would, but if you did, you could. SG arena.join allows these are the different permissions that you can set. So your players you really want to give them those first set of commands: the arena join, arena vote, arena spectate. That's up to you whether you want to allow spectators in your matches or not. And lobby join, that's what allows them to teleport directly into the lobby. The next set, staff permissions. So these are mods, people you want to be able to start and stop and manage arenas, but not necessarily build arenas. They get these force start, disable, enable, and no command block, which no command block may be something you want to avoid. Anyway, no command block is, I'm sorry, no command block is what is, remember how we had that setting, the config that blocked other server commands?
Yeah.
So bypass in-game command block means they still, even if they're in a match, they'd still be able to run commands. That's important if you have a staff member who wants to play in a match, because they wouldn't be able to force start it, they wouldn't be able to stop it, they wouldn't be able to do other important server commands if they're blocked by this command.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense, yeah.
And then the last section, arena create, set spawn, reset spawns, delete, and lobby set. Those are just the admin commands. I mean the permissions. So there it is. The very last link, and we will have a link to this whole page on our website, is a paste bin file that has all of the block IDs, both placeable and destroyable. So you can copy and paste that into your config file, and then all of the blocks in Minecraft should be able to be deleted and placed or destroyed.
This is just basically a huge
list of item IDs. Yeah, in case you don't want to type it out.
Makes sense,
because it's a lot of item IDs.
Yeah,
like I said, the things I do that I think make it really good is surround it with glass. You can use World Edit to simply create a glass sphere. Surround your arena with a glass sphere. They can't get out through the glass if you make it so the glass can't be destroyed.
Makes sense.
Makes things easy. Because otherwise, like you saw, you can hop over a wall and just take off.
Yeah.
Which is bad.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty easy. It's pretty fun. It might take you a couple tries to get everything the way you want it. And again, permissions will kill you. So you got to get through the permissions and get those set the way you want them, and find some guinea pigs. I think that was a big failing on Sunday was I didn't have enough guinea pigs to play with at first. So you need to find some guinea pigs to test your arenas and make sure they work the way you expect. People you trust, because they could break your arena.
Well, the good news is, I left my game going. The good thing is there's a lot of great people that have made incredible maps, and they are sharing them, and you can import one of those maps. We have some people even on our own server that have created some maps, and we're going to unveil those when we launch our next installment of Hunger Games next year. But yeah, and then once you bring in that map, you set the arena, and then you set the spots, and then you're ready to rock. And this is kind of a neat and creative way to introduce maybe, players who want to do PvP, but I think in a more fun light. I mean, in a restrictive timed situation. If you want to make it timed, that is. No, I think this is great. And I know you guys, very technical, but the good news here is we have it in a nice, tidy package, so you can obviously scrub back when you want to and do that sort of thing. So great. Well, Joe, thank you, man. That's some great info.
Actually, bringing up items is a really good point. I don't know if anybody noticed, but when we went into the arena, all of our items went away, the ones that we had before we were in, and then when we left, they were back. So even if you're carrying gear, when you go into the arena, it'll save what you have in your inventory and it'll give it back to you when you leave the arena, when your match is over. So you don't have to worry about, I went in there with so much gear and it all vanished, because at the end of the match, you'll get it back. So
there we go. All right.
The only thing this plugin is missing that I really wish it had was rewards.
Yeah, maybe. Like you can automatically give them stuff for winning. Which reminds me, we need to hook up our winner. I don't want to, by the way, I don't want to say who it was in case you haven't seen the episode yet, but we had a great edition of the Hunger Games. It was a special edition. We released it just a couple. Joe?
What? I'm clearly. Seriously?
No.
I banned you 3 minutes into the match. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about, man? I just switched the camera off of you.
You can switch the camera off all you want. I'm the one who banned you.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Anyway, we just released it a couple of days ago, so we haven't had a chance to watch it yet. We don't want to spoil anything for you. But it was a great Hunger Games. It was a lot of fun to watch. All right, well, one thing left to do on this episode of Minecraft Me, and that's head to the mailbox. It's time for the Minecraft Me messages.
time to dip in the old mailbag. It's time.
Minecraft Me messages.
All right, Joe. First message comes in from one of our server regulars, Mavic. New spawn for a new map. Hello, Chase and Joe. A few episodes ago, you both said that you'd be getting a new map sometime in 2014 when we update the server to 1.7. Yet in that same quote, it was stated that we would transfer spawn manor to the new map. Is there a certain reason to keep the current spawn? It might be good to create a new one with more space and different building materials. Take it into consideration. You might be glad you did. Keep up the great work, not on just on the show, but on the whole network. This came from Mavic. Well, I mean, the reason why that we've considered transferring our existing spawn manor to the new map is it brings a familiarity. You know, if someone came to our old server and they come into our new map, it would all look that part at least would be the same to them. They wouldn't be shockingly different until they walked out the door and noticed things were different.
Yeah,
I think that was the only major reason why we were going to bring that over.
It's also a cool building. I think it's a cool building, and it was it's actually built by a friend of the show, Nick Lancaster, who's a guy that I know in real life. So I mean, yeah, it'd be great to have to keep that, but I'm not necessarily opposed to doing something new as well. I don't see a problem with that.
Maybe we have a contest.
That would be
build
good.
the next spawn manor. The only thing is, I think we would need to set up a creative for that.
We'd have to have a limited area too.
Yeah. Well, you said you have to,
because we'd end up with like a castle that was
we'd be like, here's
the size
manor.
the size of Florida. You know, yeah,
it's huge. Next question comes in from Natalie. Help! I recently decided to go on a trip to the Nether on the server. When I got there, I got stuck between two walls that I could not break because it was claimed by someone that did not trust me. I am still... now, this was written a while back. I am still stuck, and please try... And I tried to make myself die of hunger, but it didn't work. Please help soon. Can't she just do a /spawn command?
Actually, I've seen this. It because of the way it goes, it actually will... it'll keep you from being able to bring up chat. It just keeps bouncing you between a couple realms, so it's constantly putting up that Minecraft loading screen.
Oh man! So what do you do?
Yeah, it's a really good question. A few people have managed to get out of it. I don't know what they did. Your best bet is, now that we know about it, next time you're in the server, hopefully a mod will spot it and see it and do something about it.
Here's my suggestion. We have a community forum board where our moderators are on all the time. So what I would do is sign up for an account. It's free. Go to the Minecraft Me section, general information, and just say, hey, this is my username. I will be here at this time.
This time zone.
At this time zone, I will be here, and please help me get unstuck. And what the moderators can do, or ourselves if we're there at the time, is once they see you on the server, they can transport you to their location.
Yeah, or we can just TP you to spawn
and
or something like that. Somewhere where you'll be neutral and be able to get out of it. The other option that Rapnet in the IRC has a really good point is if you have Mind Chat on an iDevice, which allows you to chat in a server,
or even Android,
actually use that.
On both. Yeah.
Is there? So Android or iOS.
Yep.
You can actually run that and run your command from there, and it will teleport you, because that will keep you from being quite that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can try it that, or like Chase was saying, schedule a time to be on there with an admin. Admins are often there in the afternoon on weekdays especially, and somebody will help you out as best they can.
Someone wrote in this a little bit long, but I think sometimes with the grief and griefers that we get personally, it's good to hear from you guys that say these things. Chase and Joe, this came in from one of our server regulars, Dan, a.k.a. Sky Traveler 2012. He said, hey, I just finished watching the live feed of the Minecraft Me Hunger Games 2, and I just wanted to let you know how grateful my son and I are for all that you do. We have been in your Minecraft server for a few weeks now, and I can say that the folks in there are some of the nicest people I've been around. I know you guys get grief, no pun intended sometimes, so I wanted you both to know that there are plenty of us out here that really appreciate the long hours, late nights, and tons of effort you put into the show, the server, and these special events. So in short, Thank you. Please look for us in the server sometime, Sky Traveler 2012 me, and my son, Pumpkin Man 2001. My son, he's 12. We also have a small homestead that I will not release the coordinates because I don't know if he wanted to go full public. I don't know if you realize that. But he said, come by and take a look sometime if you have a chance. Thanks again, Dan. And I know, Dan, it's one of those things that obviously when things don't go well and you're doing something live, things happen. And yeah, we all get discouraged. We're human. And it's great to hear that comments and feedback.
They're actually in the server right now, too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Props to them. They're actually in the server in the Manor Theater right now, hanging out, both of them. So.
Very, very cool. Well, that's great. This quick note here came from Cookie Avenger. Wants Minecraft false or fact? Did you know that if you break glass with a pickaxe, it won't degrade? Try it out. I did not know this.
It's interesting.
Javier writes in and says, hey, I've watched Minecraft Me episodes since around episode 20, and I also play on your server. Recently, I switched from iPhone to a Galaxy S4, and would like to know how I can download your episodes on my S4. Thank you. I actually talked about this on the last episode. Great Android app. You have to pay a few bucks for it, but it's well worth it. Well designed, called Pocket Casts. I love it. It works very, very well. No doubt there's other probably free solutions out there, but that's what I recommend, and we're listed there. Here's another question, and I don't know if you'll see this question anytime soon. I love your videos, but I'm only on number 7. How many videos have you recorded? Well, if Minecraft Me by themselves, counting this one, 105, because I have to include the special now. But 104 normal episodes, and that doesn't include Geek Gamer Weekly. That doesn't include reviews, gaming, all that other fun stuff. A lot. Whew.
A lot.
Yes. Couple more questions here. Chase and Joe, after watching episode 95, I successfully installed Ray's Minimap and Optifine and have been happy with these mods, especially the Minimap. But when I got through following your instructions on episode 103 to install Forge with inventory tweaks, and I love that mod as well. But when I tried to add Ray's Minimap to the profile with Forge, poof, Minecraft crashed. So I've gone back to using them separately. Can you play nice together? I don't care how long this message was. Y'all are awesome, and we'll read it anyway. Keep shoveling dirt. As we say, keep digging. Joe, can Forge and those other mods play nice together, or are they just too different and they can't?
No, actually, so Forge is a mod loading environment, right?
Right.
And Raise is a mod.
So you put Raise inside Forge.
You actually can. In fact, Raise Minimap is really common to put in Forge, and it's standard with like Feed the Beast and Tekkit and stuff like that. It's standard as part of the client. So there is a Raise Minimap version for Forge, and it's easier to install than the regular Minecraft ones. You don't have to deal with opening the jar file or any of that stuff. Remember in Forge, there's that mods mods directory. You just put it in there.
Wow.
That's it. Just put the whole thing just in there.
Easy.
Yeah. It's on, you'll find it. Google search for Raise Minimap for Forge, and you'll find some downloads for it. But yeah, it's like I said, it's easy.
God, I love the PC platform for these reasons, because you can get so customized. Yeah. It's so good.
Yeah, and you know what? Those two plugins are awesome. They are really, really fantastic.
And that's why we support them heavily.
Yes, yeah. I love those two plugins myself. I think they're great. And the other one we're going to do an episode on, I talked about earlier, is the World Edit CUI, client user interface, and that draws World Edit boxes for you.
Oh, please, I want that so bad. Really, next week, please. We're doing that next week. Sweet. Next week.
All right,
it's done.
We'll do that. And maybe Light Loader. Anyway, yeah.
Grim Reaper 1942 writes in and talks about horses and grief protection or prevention. He says, a few episodes back, you mentioned one of the holdups with upgrading the pub server to 1.6 was that grief protection plugin did not protect horses yet, and that you would think about it if it was worth upgrading to 1.6 or not before the plugin was updated or not. Just wondering if we've decided yet. I think I mentioned on that show that we should put it to a vote and let everybody know that, yeah, we could probably implement this. However, you would need to you need to be responsible in making sure that your horses are protected, meaning in a pen, and then you obviously everything else would be secured. Are there any other hiccups, Joe, since you are our server admin, that we would need to realize? Does grief prevention work on 1.6?
So yeah, there is a version of grief prevention that works fine in 1.6. The only thing, like I said, is at least for a while, and I'll admit I haven't checked on it in a few days, so I'm looking at it right now. That's why I'm looking over there.
Sure.
Is they hadn't updated for the horses. They hadn't managed to contain horses.
Yeah, we knew about that.
According to this, the current beta that came out on the 3rd, which as of today, as of recording, was 3 days ago, says it fixed issues with horses.
Oh.
So we may be able to move to 1.6, at least 1.6.2 or 1.6.4. Probably 1.6.4.
Chat room's going crazy. They're like, yeah, yes. I'll take my chances.
So we may be able to move there, and hopefully it won't. Horses won't be an issue. I'll have to do more digging into it and looking into it. But yeah, if that's a community consensus, if everybody's okay with that, understands that you have a chance. I mean, logically, right, in the Old West, if you didn't tie your horse up or if you didn't keep your horse near you had a chance of losing it anyway.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So as long as people are careful about it and they understand that they're running that risk, and we don't end up with a whole bunch of grief reports saying, hey, so-and-so stole my horse.
So here's what I will do. Here's what I will do. I've written a note.
Mm-hmm.
What's it say right there, Joe? Hold on.
I can't tell.
There we go.
Control Alt Shift F.
No, under that.
Oh, pull for 1.6.
All right. So here's Control Alt Shift F.
Yeah.
So here is what I will do. In the show notes of this episode 104, I will put in a link to a poll. Or actually, I'm going to try and maybe embed it right on the post. I know there's some good poll plugins for WordPress. And I will put it in there and let you guys decide. We'll run it, say, a week. Does that sound about right, Joe? We'll run it a week?
Yeah, that should be good.
So next episode, we'll know. And if you guys are okay with it, now we would add a rule, obviously, to our server rules saying if anything happens to your horse.
No stealing horses.
If anything happens to your horse, we'll investigate.
Well, first things, no stealing horses. But second thing,
that falls under the no griefing.
Really control it.
Yeah, that falls.
We can't really.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll put a poll out. Final question for this episode. Hey, Joe and Chase, I was wondering when the current map is reset, would it be okay if I made an XP farm? The reason why I ask is I would like to make it close to spawn and wish to use it as many items, at least to get at least one zombie spawner. So I ask so an admin won't ban me. Thank you for answering this. Sorry if it's too long. This came from Waldo Ninja, and this was sent from the Inflictor. Hopefully, it's a pretty good piece of technology. I don't think we've banned XP generators, have we? I mean, I don't think...
the important thing with stuff like that is anything that uses a looping redstone can be turned off. And the only hesitation on this is being near spawn is a set of chunks, or right around spawn, or a set of chunks that are always loaded. So even when people walk away, odds are somebody else is going to come into the server and it may reload those chunks, which means you're going to end up with a lot of creatures there. And that can cause problems for the server. Now, there are some things on the server that will restrict how many creatures or how many mobs can spawn in one area, but I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm not opposed to the idea. I'm going to say that I'm not opposed to the idea, but we'll have to discuss this and we'll have to come up with a real decision on this at some point. But it may be better off putting an XP farm, say, some distance away from spawn and having a portal take you to it rather than having one right near spawn, always using up resources.
Makes perfect sense. Cool.
So, but yeah, I'm not opposed to the idea. I'm not sure about placement, and I'm not sure about, maybe a legit grinder. Have a dark room instead of a spawner.
Hey, there you go. I can't wait for. I can't wait for the. Every time we've done a map reset, we haven't done one in a while, obviously, but when we did it the past couple times, I mean, just the level of what's the word? The build quality just gotten better and better and better, and the community is just awesome. So I know you guys can't wait for that and earning those claim blocks and spend some time in there. Should be a lot of fun. And don't worry, that's one of the other things that are going to be coming in the new year. for the Minecraft Me server as well. So a lot of great things. I want to remind everybody, you can grab all our past catalog of episodes on our website at geekgamer.tv/MinecraftMe, or you can just go to minecraftme.com. Here you can see we posted a couple days ago the special to the Hunger Games 2. And we have options here on the right-hand side of the page. If you are on iTunes, you could subscribe just by clicking here, and it opens up iTunes, and you can have editions as they are released. If you use something else other than iTunes, like Android devices or some other podcasting catching client, these are called RSS feeds. All you have to do is copy these URLs and then put them right in. So if it asks you for an RSS feed, just copy it. It's feeds.geekgamer.tv/Minecraft video. Or if you want in HD, Minecraft Me Video HD. Whatever you want, we have it here. And the one thing I do want to ask you guys, if you haven't done so, if you do subscribe on iTunes, hit this ratings and review button right here. And this is where you can actually give us a rating. If you like the show, it's great, it's good, it's all right. And click this button that says write a review. You'll have to sign in. And then you can let us know what you think of the show. And believe it or not, Apple pays attention to that stuff. Okay, they look at it and they say, "Wow, this show's really popular. This show's got a lot of ratings." And they help actually show those shows, and put them on the front page and promote them and stuff. So it's really cool. It's very important. And if you have questions about that, you can let us know. And remember, we love your video questions. You can attach them to the email. You can upload it to YouTube and give us the link. Keep them to about 30 seconds or less. And it's very important, no vertical video syndrome. Don't hold the camera like this. Hold it like this. It's important. Joseph.
Otherwise, you'll be mocked.
Yeah, we'll mock you. Joseph Falby. Find him on the Twitters at Falby, Falbey. You can find him in our server as Payback. He runs our awesome Minecraft Me server. He's also a really good guy.
I'm sorry, I'm playing with bats in the server right now.
Fair enough. You can follow me if you want on Twitter at Nunes, Nunes, and you can follow the network on Twitter at GeekGamerTV. We do the show usually Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern at live.geekgamer.tv. But, as things, schedule conflicts happen, sometimes we have to bump the show around. So make sure you're following us on Twitter, and you always will know the updates. And we always try to keep our broadcast calendar up to date. Wow, Joe, long show, longer than usual show, but I think it was a very important show that needed to get done. Like you said, documentation is just rough. Yeah. For creating a survival game server, and now people know how to do it.
Hope that made sense.
Hopefully. If you need clarification.
If anybody has any questions, please email them in, tweet them at us, whatever.
Post them in our forums. I mean, we got a lot.
Post them in the forums. Yeah, we'll
get
responsive.
We got a lot, and it's not just us. We got a lot of great, smart people that do servers on their own and administrate stuff. So please join the community. We'd love to have you. All right, you guys. Well, thanks for joining us for Minecraft Me. We'll see you guys again next week. For Joseph Falby, I'm Chase Nunes. Keep digging.